Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty and today I have for you the unboxing of the SCT Sampler Kit. If you don't know about these kits, they're fabulous little packages which are samples or partial packages of current scrapbooking supplies that are on the market. Now, when I opened up this kit this month, I was a little surprised because some things were different than usual. So here is what they look like when they come out of their package. There is a note card in there that has the theme word for the month. And then on the back of the note card is a list of supplies. Now, what I'm doing here is looking through because typically there is an embellishment word that matches the theme word. However, when I flipped the card over and looked for the supplies, we don't have that this month. And whether or not that's permanent change, I don't know. But what we do have instead are these exclusive dies from the SCT company. And so I was really excited about that. I love these dies. There are some layering dies with two hearts that have stitched borders and the word love and a shadow for the word love. And I was super excited about that. The other thing that was a little different is that normally there's a couple of different manufacturers involved in these kits. And this time we only have one, and it is the Simple Stories company, and this is their newest collection that has a calendar theme for a year-long scrapbooking project like Pocket Pages or Project Life, something like that. And again, partial packages, so we have some die-cut embellishments, one chipboard frame, a few foam stickers, 2 sheets of their regular stickers. Now the Simple Story stickers are pretty thin, and I've had some challenges with them in the past, but I like the images and graphics on those stickers, so I'm going to be happy to use those. And then here I thought these were just, simple cut-apart sheets, but then I realized, no, this paper line is all about, one side is all about the cut-aparts for doing the pocket page style scrapbooking. So the set of pages I have actually has the calendar on them. Now, not everybody, because they do cut apart larger 12 by 12 pattern papers, not everybody is going to get the calendar items, and that's why these are sample kits. They're not full kits. And so I got lucky for me because I got those calendar pieces, and while I'm not going to use all of them, it totally sparked a story idea for me. Now, whenever I do an unboxing, I do a project, but the story idea that got sparked for me, I'm going to save that for next week. But I will have a quicker project here to show you after we go through these supplies. And I did show you the fronts and backs of each paper, and it was at this point that I realized that these were all cut apart from the same sheets of pattern paper, because when I look at the back sides of those larger pieces, then I can match them up with the back sides of the smaller pieces and realize that they were indeed all cut apart from the larger 12 by 12 pattern papers. So that is a look at what you get in a kit and what to expect from, generally what to expect from kits. Now I'm curious to see moving forward if this style will continue or if we'll go back to multiple manufacturers as well as that word embellishment, or if we're going to continue to see exclusive bits and pieces from the SCT company. Either way, I love these kits. I highly recommend them, and I'm happy to share them with you. I just love sharing and creating with these kits. Speaking of creating, let's go ahead and do that. I have got these 3 photos of my daughters goofing around, and I decide for the layout that I have in mind, probably only 2 of them will fit. So I set aside one of them, and I had my tray of parts and pieces from this kit. Like I said, I already had an idea for a project using these supplies, and I did already start creating that project. So what you see here is what I've got left over after I created a 2-page spread. And that spread is mostly done. So I am picking pieces out of what I've got left here to create this layout. Now, I had the idea for this layout as being a row of pocket cards that is supported by strips of pattern paper that look and act like a pocket to hold those pocket cards. So that's where I start with this layout. I'm going to tuck my photos behind all of those journal cards, pocket cards, and then this is where I start creating the strips of pattern paper that are going to be the pocket. And I didn't quite get the pocket look I was going for because I cut my strips a little too narrow. I did want to have multiple patterns and multiple strips in here for sure, but I thought it would be more of a layered looking actual looking pocket, but as I started playing with them, it ended up being more just strips of pattern paper, and I'm totally okay with that. Sometimes projects go in a different direction than you expect, and this one worked out just fine, and I'm fine with all that. So I am going to finish up with all of my strips there, and I'm going to go ahead and get all of those glued down. Now I'm not going to do any measuring, I'm just going to glue down straight to the bottom, and then I'm going to leave a very slight gap, white gap, in between each of these strips. And it's a little hard to see at this distance on the video, but as I get more of those strips in place, it will be a little bit clearer. Now, because I did cut those strips down from not 12 by 12 papers, but they're partial 12 by 12 papers, I do have to piece them together to make it all the way across the page, and I'm okay with that. Mostly the connections between the pattern papers don't bug me. And I decided now, because my strips don't look as much like a pocket, I decided to go ahead and ink up all the edges of my journal cards and my photos in order to make them pop a little bit more against the page. Now, while I did set those aside for the ink to dry, it doesn't take too long, but especially when I'm inking photos, I do like to give it a minute or two for it to dry before I start messing with it so that I don't transfer any ink. Now I am offsetting all of these little pocket pages. I did cut that kind of ray-shaped journal card in half, and I'm using it in two separate places. I did shorten a couple of the journaling cards so that I would have all of these offset edges that add a little bit more dynamicness to the layout. Okay, and this is where I got a brilliant idea to use those dies to create an embossed texture on the background of my pattern paper. So I get out a foam square and I roll it with my brayer. That didn't work. I put it straight on my table and roll it with my brayer. And guess what? That didn't work. So I get out yet another material and roll it with my brayer, thinking maybe that one would be squishier and allow it to push into the paper more. That didn't work. So then I'm like, okay, I'm really gonna get myself going with this. And I pull out a jewelry hammer and I hammer it. That didn't work either. So sometimes my brilliant ideas are not so brilliant. If you know how to make that work, let me know, because I would love to know. In the end, I just decided to go ahead and die cut some of those hearts from that die and just do this tone on tone die cut piecing onto my background to get a little bit more texture back there. But because my layout is getting busy already, which is classic for me, I decided to keep that tone on tone and just get a little bit more subtle texture going on that part of the layout. And in the end, it works out okay. So now I'm ready to kind of finish up this layout. I'm going to go ahead and tuck my photos in there, and then I will get my my title back going. I did pre-plan my title so that once I got all my journaling cards in place, I could make sure that the balance of the words on the journaling card along with the words of the title don't kind of overwhelm each other. And so I think I did okay with that. Now, those letter stickers that I used are another Simple Stories sticker product, and they are a little fussy. So I did add extra glue to them, and I am outlining with a pen, and that's mostly just because they are blending in a little too much. But because they are so thin, you do have to be super careful if you're going to outline your letters to give them more pop. And so I did all that off camera because it was slow and fussy. And but I think it helps a lot with these letters. And my title's done, and I'm moving on to other embellishing bits. So I've got these other stickers from the other parts of the sticker sheets and a few die cut pieces left from that partial pack of die cut tags. I did go ahead and fussy cut some journal cards images out, and here I am punching the back side of some images out, and those little heart circles I'm going to turn into more like enamel dots, and we'll get to that in a minute. So I got all these embellishments going and just trying to decide how to add little bits and pieces here and there. So there's 3 butterflies scattered across the page, and I get a couple of icons going on across the page. Because this was my kids' roughhousing at home, I did bring in that hanging plant as a kind of a homey element to this layout, just trying to decide where it should go. And then I thought I was going to put flowers next to the big word hello, but they were just all blending in too much, even the ones I fussy cut. So I got this little thumbs up sticker off of there, and I liked that. I really liked how that came out, because when my girls get to goofing off, it's pretty funny, and I really like to encourage them to connect with each other and play around. So that thumbs up worked out well. And now I'm sprinkling on those little heart circles that I punched out of that paper, and I am using these as if they were enamel dots, since I don't have any enamel dots left in this kit because I used those on that other project I mentioned. What I am going to do after getting them into their final place is grab my little jar of Nouveau clear Nouveau drops. Now, any crystal clear product, liquidy, topper product will work for this. And I am giving all of those little hearts a shine and a gloss. And hopefully in some of these close-up pictures, you can see some of that shine going on. And that finishes up my page for this time. I hope you found something useful out of this video, and if you did, I would appreciate a thumbs up because that does help my channel. I should be back on Friday for my Freebie Friday series, where I offer you free sketches and free electronic cut files for download on my blog. I hope you'll join me then. I'll see you next time.